The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Many people know that after the Second World War, there was a place that were called DP camps. DP means displaced persons. There were people that had no homes to go to. They were displaced. They had no relatives that were left. They didn't know where to go. And so there was a great rabbi. He was the Kloisenberger Rebbe. And Rahman al-Islam means God should protect us. He lost his wife and 11 children. But he also came to the DP camps. You know why? To give chizuk, to give encouragement. And just like Rabbi Volba did in Sweden, Rabbi Halberstam, what he did was he built, or he put together in a building a girls' school, and another building he put together a boys' school. And the kids were getting revived and getting back some of their enthusiasm for Torah and for Judaism. But there was one boy, his name was Meshulam, who came from a religious family, but he lost his parents and his siblings. And he decided he didn't want any more connection with Judaism. And people tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't listen. And then what happened? Somebody went to the Rebbe and said, you know, this boy Meshulam, he came from a very religious family, and he used to be religious himself. Maybe the Rebbe could speak to him. So the Rebbe said, of course, let him come in, I'll be happy to speak to him. Now they told this boy Meshulam that the Rebbe wants to speak to him. Now of course he didn't want to speak to the Rebbe because he knew what the Rebbe would try to tell him. But how could you not go to the Rebbe? The Rebbe was the tzaddik. So he came and he decided that he's only going to give one-word answers. And he's not even going to look at the rabbi. He comes inside. The rabbi says shalom to him. Shalom aleichem. He said, you're Meshulam, right? He said, yeah. He said, you're the son of Bainish. Is that correct? He said, yeah. Then the Rebbe says to him, I heard you used to be a big masmid that used to learn very diligently. He said, yeah. And then the Rebbe said something to him that shocked him. He wasn't expecting this. The Rebbe said, you're angry, right? He looked up at the Rebbe. He wasn't expecting that question. And the Rebbe said, I know why you're angry. Because they took the best ones and they left you. He said, I feel the same way. They took the best ones. They took my wife and my 11 children and they left me. And me and you are the same. They took the best ones and they left us. And the Rebbe started talking how he missed his wife and his children, and that he was the one that was left. And the Rebbe started crying, and he put his head on Meshulam's shoulder, and he held him, and he said, they took the best ones, and they left us. That's why we're so upset. And all of a sudden, Meshulam, his heart opened up, and his emotion burst forth, and he started crying together with the Rebbe. And Meshulam told me the story. See, Meshulam eventually grew up and he lived in Baltimore, but he had a relative here in Kew Garden Hills, and I met him just a few blocks away from here. He told me they cried for 25 minutes straight, and all the Rebbe kept on saying was, they took the best ones and they left us. And then Meshulam told me that after 25 minutes the Rebbe kissed him on his forehead and he wished him well. And he told me that that night was the first night that he said Kriyat Shema in 5 months. And so I remember sitting in the kitchen with him, just a few blocks from here. I said to him, Meshulam, you got to tell me, what was the difference the way everybody spoke to you and how the Rebbe spoke to you? And he said something that I will never forget. He said, everybody spoke to my head, the Rebbe spoke to my heart. And that's why he changed. And that's how you give a compliment. And that's how you validate someone. You can't just go give a compliment, and if you don't mean it, the person knows you don't mean it. And it's worse. But if you think about the good of someone, and you give them a genuine compliment, and you tell them, you know something? I love how you daven. I love how you bring your kids to shul and you daven together with them. I love how you do certain things, whatever it is, even the way they dress or whatever. And when you hear a compliment that comes from the heart, oh, then it makes a difference.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org